Ready to make your first TPT sale? In this video today, I'm going to break down how myself and hundreds of other sellers have made their first sale fast, and I'm not going to leave you hanging because I'm going to share all the strategies that have truly worked. I know waiting for the first sale can feel frustrating, but with these strategies, I promise you won't feel frustrated and you're going to be left feeling invigorated and ready to go. And stick with me until the end because I'm going to share the number one thing that most sellers overlook when they're getting started, and you won't have to make that mistake. Hey teacher friend, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today because we're going to start off fresh with getting some strategies in place and really nailing down your TPT store so that you can make the money that you want in the new year. Let's talk about why getting that first sale truly matters and the motivation and momentum that's going to go into making that first sale. It's going to help you not only build confidence and inspire you to make more money along the way, but it's really going to set you up for success with the tips I'm going to give you today. Just remember that the first sale doesn't need to be huge. We need to just live up to the potential of what our store is offering. So if I just have one or two new products in my store and I'm just setting out, then getting a first sale, no matter what the amount, is going to be so inspiring. And I was just talking with one of my coaching clients, and she was looking at her sales from 2024 versus 2023, and she made $7, I think, her 2023 year, and then she bumped it all the way up into the $900. That is a huge increase. And the things that she did, some of those things I'm going to share with you in this video today, and you can start implementing them. But if you're just starting out, remember, we all start somewhere. And if you're trying to be an overnight success, it's likely not going to happen that way. Overnight success people that you see have actually put years and years of work in the making. First thing, when we're looking at creating products that sell, we really have to dive deep into what our niche for our store is and filling gaps that already exist in the market. Market research is going to be huge. If I'm just creating products willy-nilly and not having a strategy, then I likely won't make sales because I'm not creating things that people actually need. A great place to start is looking at your own Google Drive and seeing what you've already made for your own classroom or your tutoring clients, and likely those products would help other people. The seller that I mentioned earlier is a reading interventionist, but she also tutors, and so many of her products she had to invent to make her tutoring sessions run more smoothly, and so she's able to sell those in her TPT store. And the growth that I mentioned before didn't just happen overnight. It happened from putting a plan in place and executing that plan. A free and easy way that you can do marketing research is always hangs people up, and you're gonna love what I have to say, is using the TPT search bar to explore what is trending right now. So if you have a product idea, take what you would call it and type it into the search bar and see what it pops up. TPT is a search engine as far as what teachers are looking for the activities that they need for that moment. And even looking back at my own store for 2024, a huge bulk of the sales came directly from the TPT search bar. So getting to fill those holes for teachers on what they're actually needing in their classroom is going to be pivotal for you in your store and creating a product line down the road that actually solves those problems. Focus on quality over quantity. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a DM from someone saying, how many products should I have in my store? And while I understand you want to have stocked shelves, if we think about going into Target, there's products everywhere. But if we also think about Target, that store has been around for a long time. So of course they have lots of products and they're offering a lot of different things. We want your TPT store to be a one-stop shop solution for X. Whatever the problem is that you solve for your ideal teacher, that's what you need to be filling your shelves with. So at first, you will just have one product, then you'll have two, and then it'll become 5 and 10. But if you're not having strategy behind what you're putting on the electronic shelves of your store, just because you have a bunch of products doesn't mean they're going to sell. So being really strategic with what you're creating, and also taking it all the way through and not just slapping something together, asking ChatGPT to make something for you. As much as we love ChatGPT to help us solve some issues, it's not going to make a product for you that teachers are necessarily looking for because it's AI. It's not a physical person. And we even know that now with writing blog posts for your TPT products, which I know you'll get to eventually in the future. That is going to be a chef's kiss when it comes to giving Google algorithm exactly what it wants. And Google has gotten really smart and figured out when something is written by a human and something is written by a robot. And so the same goes for your TPT store. Making a product from start to finish the best quality that you possibly can and not relying on someone else or AI to do it for you. You definitely want an eye-catching design, something that is going to draw someone in. If we're thinking about shopping and we are looking at book covers, I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but really we are looking at the cover first, and we're going to see on your TPT products if your cover is giving me the information that I need. You can use templates in Canva, you can make them in PowerPoint. You could even use Google for this. Inside of From Zero to Cha-Ching, I have templates for all of that. I know I mentioned that a lot, but it makes it so much easier for you to have that completely done so you're not wasting time on the design portion. If you're anything like me, that is what hung me up a lot in the beginning, and I realized that I needed a template that I could just plug and play, and then I didn't have to stress over the details of what was going on the cover and the thumbnails that I could repurpose for every product here on out. We want to optimize your listing on TPT, so we're going to focus on a dynamic title. Again, going back to the TPT search bar and seeing how other people are naming products is going to help you, because if you have a really great science unit but you name it something that makes sense to you but it doesn't make sense to anybody else, no one's going to find it. With that, we also need to work on an airtight description so that we are really outlining the benefits and the features of this product, but really honing in on the benefits for the teacher. I want to know at 7 a.m. on a Monday morning when I am searching for that science activity, that when I come across yours, that it's actually going to solve my problem. We can use keywords in this, and I would encourage you for every product line that you create that you have a bank of keywords as well, and you are saving all of these things so that it saves you time in making your resources down the road. That's where people get more efficient and start putting more things in their store when they have those systems and processes. Setting the right price is your next step, and I know this part can hang people up a little bit, but just remember, doing the market research is really going to help with that. You want to be competitive, but you don't want to be too overpriced or too underpriced, and we need to really strategize that in the beginning. Now, when something starts selling really well, then you can go ahead and increase the price a little bit. In my last week's video, I talked about that a little bit more on the strategy that you can use to increase pricing, so go back and watch that video. Your store is going to need a freebie, of course, and we want the freebie to, again, be strategic. So offering something that's going to lead people to another product line that's going to solve their problem, and that's a great way to pitch your offer without being salesy. Next, you're going to need to promote your product like a pro, and you know that I'm going to encourage you to use social media. I love Instagram. I think it's such a great way to get to know your followers, talking to them in DMs, making posts that help them, making connections with people. And I want you to focus on that this year with your TPT store, is how can you set up yourself for success so that your strategy is manageable, but you're also helping people in the long run with things in their classroom that you too have struggled with. I also want you to think about Pinterest as your next strategy for social media that you're going to include, and I know blogging down the road as well. And those are things that I can help you with. You can always send me a DM over on Instagram. My handle is always at the top of the video, and ask me what your next best steps are, and I can give you clarity on that. Another great way to get eyeballs on your products, if you're in the classroom or let's say you're tutoring and you know other tutors, you could ask if your resource would be of help to them, and then give it to them for free and get their feedback. What a great way to get some editing done, get some eyes on your activity. Maybe they could even take a picture of it while they're working with the child that they're tutoring or in their classroom, of course keeping the anonymity of the kid, and that way you could get the instant feedback, you could get a review of it, you could talk about it then on your Instagram stories that your friend tried this out and loved it, and other people will eventually show interest in something because you've proven that it solves a problem that they have too. There's some things that you can do that TPT has as promotional tools, and one of those is bundling your products and creating a product line. It's easy to do inside of TPT. Once you have a series of products, you can bundle them inside of the website, and that's a great way to make higher sales later down the road when we see sellers that are having $1,000 months to $5,000 months. They have bundles of products that are inside of a product line that solve a bigger problem. Thinking from the beginning of the school year to the end is a great example. And what could your niche provide as a solution, as a one-stop shop for the entire school year? And like I mentioned before, another thing you can do inside of your free product is upsell for your first paid product and giving a listing of products that they might find useful inside of that free download. And they can choose to click on it or not. That's up to them, but at least you've done your due diligence and talked more about your amazing products. Because if you're not talking about your products, no one else will. As I mentioned before, some common pitfalls that happen to TPT sellers inside of this process. I don't want to leave you hanging, and I don't want to see you make these mistakes as well. So the first one is avoid uploading incomplete or unpolished work. So sometimes we might be type B. I get it. I teeter on that line, and I might think to myself, I just want to get this done and get it uploaded on TPT. But at the end of the day, what if somebody buys it because it has a great description and it has a great title, but then you didn't finish it? And then they leave a review, and now you have a 2-star review, and that scars that product. So make sure, even if it's going to take you an extra hour of time or whatever it is, that you take it all the way through and make sure it is something that you're proud of and that you would be so excited if a teacher downloaded and talked about on their Instagram stories, because there's a chance that they might do that, and you would want them to say the best things and not that you didn't complete a product and don't buy from the seller. Another pitfall is just your mindset and being discouraged and comparing yourself to others and falling into that pitfall. Keep your blinders on this year. Focus on your store. Get help in your store when you need it. Don't wait until you are 10 months from now and you're still not making any sales and you're mad about it. Take a course. Get some coaching. DM me on Instagram and see what your next best steps are. You have so many opportunities to make your store better, and DIYing it, it's only going to get you so far. And if I was wrong about that, then you wouldn't be here today in the position that you're in. So I get it. I've been there too. And the most success I've ever had is once I hired an expert to help me with it. And sometimes that does require spending money a little bit before you've made it. And that's not for everybody, but it has been something that has worked for me. And I'm glad that I did, because I wouldn't be in the position I am now, able to help you with your store, if I didn't know the things that I know. And remember, products don't have to be the most amazing product that you've ever seen on TPT when you're first starting out. Focus on solving a problem, and we can optimize as we go through. I want the product to not have a lot of errors in it and be perfect in that sense, but comparing yourself to other sellers who have been on this journey for a lot longer and thinking your products aren't as great is going to stop you dead in your tracks, and you're not going to make the sales that you want. So let's overcome that together and move forward and taking the leap that you need to make this year to make it the best year yet. And you can look back a year from now and say, I'm so glad that I started. If you're ready to get laser focused on what your Teachers Pay Teacher store needs next, you're gonna love my free quiz. It's brand new, and in that quiz, it'll take you about 5 minutes to do. It looks like a 17 magazine quiz, so shout out to my millennial teacher friends who used to take those as well. And it's going to just take you through what your next best steps are. I've thought a lot about this in the last year and figuring out what my coaching clients have needed the most of. And the 4 solutions inside of the quiz are going to give you the clarity that you need so that you are ready to make this year the best year yet and have strategy and focus like you've never had before. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.